edition of the Darrin Horn Show presented by St. Elizabeth Healthcare. They know you have questions, and at St. Elizabeth, they personalize care with the answers you need. I'm Rick Brewing, alongside the head coach of the NKU Norse, Darrin Horn. And coach, for this edition, we are joined by one of your players on this year's team. He is one of the newest members of the 1,000-point club here at NKU, 7th on the career-leading scorers in the Division I era, and 1st all-time in steals. Sam Vinson is here with us.
Yeah, outstanding player and, local product, proud of Fort Thomas Highlands. And, again, just has meant so much to our basketball program. So thrilled to have him today.
Sam, thanks for joining us. First of all, I brought up there 1,000 points, also the Division I career steals leader with over 200 steals. Which is cooler to you? Which one do you enjoy saying more?
With Coach sitting right here, he probably want me to say steals, but steals are good and all, and being number one, that's awesome. So honestly, yeah, I would say steals.
And Coach, speaking of that, it's something that we've talked about on different coaches shows that we've done on the radio or what have you. He's unique in the way he steals the ball. I call it the Debo steal. It's like he's a bully. He goes in with two hands and just takes it away from people. I don't know that I've seen many players do that at least as frequently as he does it. Yeah,
great instincts on the defensive end, right? So, he, kind of the traditional steal, he can run through passes or get his hands on basketballs and deflect them and grab them. But as you said, he also, because of his instincts and feel, is able to just kind of, sniff out when, that ball's a little bit too exposed. I think I'll just take that. Thank you very much. And it is very unique to him. He had one just, in our last game where kid looks like he's about to kind of catch a lob and Sam just literally goes and takes it away from him.
Yeah, the only player in the Division I era to have over 200 steals. Sam, how much did the fist defense, that unique style of defense here at NKU, change the way that you played on that end of the court?
To be honest, in high school, we honestly didn't play any defense for real. We got a lot of steals. We pressed the whole game, but it wasn't real defense. So as soon as I got here, I realized that you really have to sit down and guard anyone, any player. And then learning fists, it makes it easier to get steals. If you're in the right position, showing length, doing all the things that the coaches tell us to do and doing all the things right, you're going to get a steal. The ball's going to end up coming to you.
When you think about your time here at NKU over the last 4 years, where do you feel like your game has changed the most? Where have you improved the most?
I think just overall, year after year, getting my body stronger, getting more physical on the court, getting my spots better, and when I get to my spot, just pulling up and making that shot that I know I'm comfortable with.
Coach, from your perspective, we always talk about player development. What have you seen from Sam?
I think a lot of what he said, right? Part of becoming a better player at the college level, especially when you're a player like Sam and you're so good, you end up near the top of the scouting report, is can you get to what you do well in game situations? And I think he's really, really developed that, over the course of time, being able to get his shot off the bounce in the mid-range, to be able to get down around the block. One of the things he does so well is he's really physical around the basket as a finisher, but he's also a playmaker from that position for our team as well. So it's great for him and our team when he gets there, and then just picking and choosing the right spots to step in and knock down the three.
Sam, you suffered a season-ending knee injury last December. First of all, what has the process been like to get back to just being healthy? And second of all, I know the fans were all worried about you. How are you feeling now? Are you back to feeling like your old self?
Yeah, the process it felt like forever, really. It was a long process going through surgery, rehab even before surgery. So to get to where I'm at right now, I'm grateful for that. I know I worked hard. I've had a great team surround me. Our trainer, Nate, has really helped me. Family, friends have always kept my hopes high. So to get back and playing now and how I'm feeling good now. So the knee's good and just trying to win some more games.
I know everyone talks about the mental hurdle of coming back from an injury like that. Did you go through any of that? Did you feel like you were dealing with that earlier this season?
I definitely did. I went through that even back to soon after surgery. You always get the thought in your mind, are you going to be the same when you come back? How are you going to be different? Is your knee ever going to feel good again? And even each milestone you get through surgery, even if you are feeling good, you have to wait. You're not allowed to run yet. You're not allowed to jump yet, even if you are feeling good. And then, not playing basketball against outside competition for 9, 10 months, however long it was, definitely took a few games to get used to again, just getting my body back, getting my mind right. And it took a few games to get used to, so it was a little hurdle, but it's better now.
Coach, how hard is that when you have a guy who's kind of away from the group, still a part of your team, but not able to do everything that you guys are doing on a day-to-day basis? How hard is that to try to keep him involved and make sure he's sharp?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a challenge, and I think it's a challenge because your first concern is, how are they doing? How are they doing individually as players? I mean, these young men, basketball means so much to them. It's a part of their literally daily life. And, as Sam said, for 9 or 10 months, when that's taken away, it's different. And it's a huge mental challenge. It's a huge emotional challenge. And then, even when you're back and cleared 100% healthy in terms of the strength that you need by your medical team, you're not back. You haven't done something for 10 months. And so there is a continued process to that of kind of getting back into rhythm and gaining confidence and feel for things. And, the one thing about Sam that, you're never worried about, he's an incredible worker, has great mental and physical toughness. And so has battled through it, I think handled it as well as, and I've been through it more times than I'd care to count with players. And Sam has handled it as well as anybody I've been around.
You mentioned having a great team with you on your road to recovery. Tell me a little bit about the process with St. E's, because they're one of our sponsors, and you put together a pretty cool video about your road to recovery with them. What was that process like?
I mean, St. E, they made it super simple through just the first meeting I had with them with the MRI, talked to the doctor, I got in right away. That was super simple, super smooth. And then all the way up through surgery. The surgery day, I've never had surgery before, so I was kind of nervous. But just getting there, the doctors around me, the team around me, they were also made it super easy, super simple. And then rehab, really with Nate the whole time. And then also Bill came in and did some rehab. So through that and meeting with Dr. Heiss, they just kept me on the right path and kept me positive.
Now, they did something pretty cool in terms of documenting this process with you. Tell me a little bit about that. What are fans going to see when they watch that?
Yeah, it takes it through the whole process, really. Surgery day, after surgery, a few months out, each milestone that hit, and they're just going to see what I had to go through, my mindset through that, some of the training I had to do, some of the rehab I had to do, and just some workouts I had to do to get back onto the court and what it was like to go through all that.
Well, you're feeling better. You're playing better. The team is starting to play better. You're one of the guys on this group who has been there before. You've won a Horizon League championship in March. You know what that's like. What is going to be your message to your teammates over the next few weeks as you get into winning time and get to March?
I mean, it's coming to the end of the season now, and it's what we do here. That's what we do. We win in March. We win in February when it really counts. And every single year we have ups and downs. It happens. It happens through a whole basketball season. So the message is just, stay locked in and do what we do, and that's what we win here. That's what we do.
Coach, have you seen that start to show through with your players, that experience having been there before when you hit a little bit of adversity?
Yeah, there's no question. And I think the key, Rick, is what Sam said. You can't really put a value on guys that have been through that and experienced it. And not just playing in a championship, but what it takes to handle the ups and downs of a season to get there. And, we've got several guys that have nobody more experienced and better at it than Sam. And so I think you've started to see a little bit of a shift in those guys as we head towards the end of the season.
All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk more about your career here at NKU and what's ahead for you. All that and more as we continue. It's the Darrin Horn Show, presented by St. Elizabeth Healthcare.
Do you have an experienced ACL doc you can recommend?
I'm right here.
Can you tailor treatment to me?
I'm right here.
Is it possible to get medical advice in the middle of the night?
I'm right here.
At St. Elizabeth, we provide a faithful commitment to the community, innovative treatments, and unsurpassed advancements in care. We understand you have questions, and at St. Elizabeth, we personalize care with answers you need.
We live with you, build with you, grow up with you, and dream with you. At Central Bank, we belong to the same communities you do. You're our neighbors, friends, and business partners. And through the relationships we build with you every day, we consistently serve you better. That's what highly personal banking is all about. We start with you.
It starts with the slice to make fresh cut fries, the squeeze to make fresh lemonade, and the sizzle of the sub. Oh yeah, pin-station.com.
Join Kentucky Wild and make a difference for our threatened wildlife. Your membership supports opportunities to experience wildlife conservation projects side by side with the Kentucky Wild team and receive some sweet gear too. Join today. Annual memberships start at $25.
Welcome back to the Darrin Horn Show, presented by St. Elizabeth Healthcare. For today's show, we are joined by Sam Vinson. And Sam, I wanted to go back to when you committed to NKU. It was September 2020, your senior year of high school. What do you remember about the recruiting process? What was that like for you?
It started my junior year in high school. They were the first school to offer me, really, and I didn't have an offer until that was my first offer. And then after that, it took a while, and just them being the first school, I grew a relationship with them super easily. And then COVID happened, so it was throughout COVID, and they would always check in. I had a bunch of Zoom calls, which was very weird because you couldn't meet face-to-face. You couldn't go on any visits in person, anything like that. But I already knew NKU since I lived around here. I knew what it was like. I knew the facilities. I knew the team. And so them being the first ones, I had the best relationship with them, and that was one of the reasons that I did commit here and stay here.
Coach, I remember being at coaches' shows when we were doing them at a different location than we are now, and we'd be talking about recruiting, and you'd say, like, I really like the Vinson kid from Highlands, even though he really didn't have much recruiting fanfare at that point. What did you see in him early on that made you so sure of what he was going to become?
You know, I think a lot of the same things we see every night when we watch him play now, right? He's a complete player that impacts winning on both ends. He oozes ball player, right? And most importantly, winning ball player. I mean, you know, you're talking about a guy that literally put a high school team on his back all the way to the state championship. And so we kind of saw that from day one and fell in love with him. And you know, he talked about the recruiting process. And one of the things that's interesting about that, Rick, is Sam's like the last old school recruitment guy that we have in our program. You know, now you don't do as much of getting them to campus and visiting with them and building that relationship because things have just kind of changed, right? And Sam's kind of the last guy we did that with. And as he said, then COVID hit. So we're trying to figure out how to continue to do that and build it with Zoom calls and things of that nature. So really kind of a dinosaur recruitment by today's standards.
I'm trying to picture how it was when he actually called you guys and tell you, because again, it's COVID, so you didn't do it in person. It wasn't on a visit or anything. Were you guys all like huddled around the phone waiting for the call? And
I screamed like a little girl. I was so excited. He remembers that. I literally screamed when he said he was coming.
What was that like from your perspective?
I was at my grandma's house. I think so. I was leaving my grandma's house, and then my whole family, my parents, my siblings, everyone, they knew I was going to commit here. And so I remember calling and then him saying, hold on, wait. Then I hear all the coaches in there at once, and then I told them again, and then I think they all went crazy.
That's a great story. That senior year of high school that we're talking about there, you went on to be the Kentucky Gatorade Player of the Year. You led Highlands to a state championship. You were named MVP of the Kentucky Sweet 16. What stands out to you about that team and that championship run?
I played basketball with many of those guys growing up my whole life. Since we were really little, we played AAU together, we played school ball together, all throughout middle school, all throughout high school. So really we had a huge connection, and we'd always hang out outside the court too. So we were really like brothers together. And then I was just surrounded by all shooters. Everyone could shoot on that team. Everyone wanted to win, and they wanted to do their part. So, I mean, it was awesome. And to make that journey to go all the way to state and to win state for the first time in Highlands history was awesome.
You averaged over 23 points per game during that run, had tons of rebounds, assists, steals, blocks. I mean, it was one of those Kentucky State tournament runs that people remember. They talk about what you did individually. How cool is the Kentucky High School State Tournament?
Oh, it's incredible. And we didn't even get the full experience because it was during that COVID era where all the fans weren't allowed in. But still, with limited fans in and social distancing, it was still an awesome experience. Like you'll never get something like that for real. And I mean, it was awesome. Everyone being there, our community being there. We called off school for the first game, and just that whole student section, all of our fans, it was a surreal feeling.
A lot of times when I talk about this in front of college coaches, I think they kind of roll their eyes when I talk about how special it is. Because, yeah, we got state tournaments everywhere, bud. But, Coach, you understand what a Kentucky State tournament is like because you took your team to a championship game back in the 90s at Tate's Creek. I mean, it really is different, isn't it?
No, it definitely is. And, Sam talked about closing down, school for the first game. We had the very first game game of the tournament in 1991, the 1 o'clock tip, and there were 19,000 people there. Like, that just doesn't happen most places, right? And so, my only issue is that that's the one thing that Sam likes to hold over my head all the time is the fact that he actually won the last game and we lost and we were runner-ups.
Yeah, I can imagine that's come up a time or two. Sam, what is it like being the local guy who stays local and goes to college at the same area where you grew up and everyone already knew you and everyone's supporting you? I mean, is it cool to be home and playing in front of the hometown crowd?
Yeah, it is. It's super cool. And just being able for your family and all your friends growing up to be able to come out to any game they want to, any home game, that's awesome, having that support. And also just the community that you learned to love growing up, they can still come out there and support you. And I see fans and people that I saw growing up that supported me then at games now. Little kids coming up to me at games, and just parents, everyone that I saw growing up or knew growing up still come out and support me. So that's awesome. You
mentioned that community. Is that why it's been important to do the volunteer work and hold your youth camp and all the things that you do within the community? Is it just nice to get out and see those people still? Yeah, it is. It's super nice to do that kind of things. And I've done my camp now for 3 years, and that's awesome. Every single year, it's awesome. This past year, it was the best it's ever been, over close to 100 kids for one day, just getting better, teaching them the game of basketball and having some fun competing against each other. And so I love doing that and also bringing my teammates with me to do it with me. They love it. They really get into it. I think Jake and Trey this year were soaked in sweat afterwards, so, they get after it too. So I really enjoy that. I mean, Coach, that's just when you're talking about trying to build a program and put this thing together, this is what you're looking for, right? People that are bought in, that get it and understand the community.
I mean, there's no question, if we're so fortunate to have Sam Vinson here at NKU and for him to be a guy that's going to graduate from NKU and be an alumni here. And I think, the thing that's so important about it to me, Rick, is what you just touched on with him, is that, this is also a guy that's giving back to his community, that cares. So, whether it's through volunteer work or his youth camps, he's impacting the people around him. And, so many people are so frustrated and disgruntled with college basketball because of NIL and the transfer portal and all this. But, this guy is still the ultimate student athlete and is impacting not only basketball and winning, but the people around him, not only at NKU, but in his community. And really, we're just blessed to have him.
That's a great point, because we hear so much about the transfer portal. And Sam, you're a guy that had opportunities to go elsewhere. If you wanted to pursue those, you absolutely could have. What made you want to stay here at NKU? This is home. This is where I came from, my teammates, coaching staff, all that things. I didn't want to, go through everything again, trying to find a new home, going through the whole recruiting process again. I didn't even really think about it at all. The goal was to stay here and graduate from here all 4 years. So honestly, that wasn't even in my mind, hit the transfer portal at all. So just staying here, trying to win another championship for this team, for NKU. Well, it means a lot to the community. I know that. What are your plans going forward? Do you have that mapped out yet? Do you know, or are you just focused on what's ahead of you right now? I just go day by day, one step at a time. So really, I'm focused on this year, and then whatever comes next year. If I get another year back, that'd be great. If not, professional basketball overseas. But other than that, I'm just focused on today, then tomorrow, step by step, day by day. Coach, great to have Sam Vinson on, 1,000-point scorer, one of the newest members there, 7th all-time in the Division I career scoring leaders, and 1st all-time in steals. This is pretty special to have him on.
It really was a treat for us and hopefully for everybody that's watching.
All right, Sam, thank you for joining us. Appreciate it, man. Thank you for having me. All right, we'll be right back with our video breakdown segment. You're watching the Darrin Horn Show, presented by St. Elizabeth Healthcare.
Do you have an experienced ACL doc you can recommend?
I'm right here.
Can you tailor treatment to me?
I'm right here. Is it possible to get medical advice in the middle of the night?
I'm right here.
At St. Elizabeth, we provide a faithful commitment to the community, innovative treatments, and unsurpassed advancements in care. We understand you have questions, and at St. Elizabeth, we personalize care with answers you need.
We live with you, build with you, grow up with you, and dream with you. At Central Bank, we belong to the same communities you do. You're our neighbors, friends, and business partners. And through the relationships we build with you every day, we consistently serve you better. That's what highly personal banking is all about. We start with you.
It starts with the slice to make fresh-cut fries, the squeeze to make fresh lemonade, and the sizzle of the sub. Oh yeah, pin-station.com.
Join Kentucky Wild and make a difference for our threatened wildlife. Your membership supports opportunities to experience wildlife conservation projects side by side with the Kentucky Wild team and receive some sweet gear too. Join today. Annual memberships start at $25.
Welcome back to the Darrin Horn Show. It is our final segment of the show. Time for our video breakdown. It is presented by Central Bank. Central Bank, we start with you. Coach, time to take a look at our video breakdown. But before we do that, I wanted to bring back up our conversation with Sam Vinson because it was about getting him back and him not just being back, but being a strong contributor and being a focal point of your team this year. What about the job that St. E's did with him and the work they've done to get him back better?
Yeah, honestly, the phrase I would use, Rick, is world class. And as I said earlier, I've been unfortunately a part of a lot of those processes where guys have hurt their knees and had to come back with major surgery. And, whether it was the people around them, as he said, the process of the day of the surgery, the plan moving forward, how everybody worked together. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind it's as good a care as I've ever seen. And literally, I would say world-class care. So we're fortunate to have St. E's taking care of our guys.
Well, I'd encourage all the fans to take a look at that video that they are putting out, documenting his process and his recovery. Right now, though, we're going to take a look at our video breakdown segment, and this is going to focus on your most recent win at Oakland and really how you managed to work against their zone defense, right?
Yeah, very unique defense, right, with the way they play. Some people say we play a zone. We don't. We've got some principles. We're much more aggressive in our defense. Oakland's is a real zone that's kind of designed just to make you not play the way you normally want to play. So it really comes down to playing with concepts and some freedom, and it takes all five guys really playing together, and our guys did a fantastic job in this game. And so I want to show you how we attack that.
Yeah, let's take a look at those clips here.
Again, a lot of it's just concepts in terms of ball movement and spacing, getting player movement. You see now that we've moved the ball some, they're more matched in a man-to-man type look, and it gives you ability. Now you throw the ball inside, and LJ, what an aggressive, strong move. Boy, I'd love to see more of that from LJ.
That deep post positioning that he got was key.
Absolutely. So, that's one aspect. Can you get the ball inside after you get him to match man? Another one is playing through the middle. We're very fortunate in Sam Vinson and Trey Robinson especially that we have guys that can throw it in there and then look to make a play. When you catch a ball in the middle, old school basketball, like you were taught in high school, Rick, you look down, you look opposite to try to find guys. And so, again, a lot of player movement, a lot of concepts. Here you see we're going to force the switch from the guy at the nail who's coming out to take the ball. That's something they are really committed to. That leaves Josh open. We were talking about plays Sam makes that impact winning. That's just a basketball play that was a great read and find by Sam. And again, you want to try to play in the middle of the floor if you can against this defense. We're fortunate, middle, down, opposite, keying on the baseline layup. So what you're starting to see is there's a variety of ways that you have to attack this to be able to score the basketball. Again, get some player movement. There's Sam working his way back into the middle. He's going to look down to Paulus, cutting to the basket. He's going to look opposite to find Josh. Great look. Doesn't go in, but again, what you're trying to create is great opportunities and great shots with the opportunity to offensive rebound at the end of it.
And Coach, a lot of that, what we're talking about there, it's really just about the ball movement and playing free, right? Go out and making a play.
Yeah, no, it really is. And that's something that, quite honestly, Rick, we've struggled with some this year is getting these guys on both ends, both our offense and our defense. And again, Oakland's attack is a little unique, but both of our offense and defense is to get players to make plays and to do it with freedom and confidence. And that's something that we've always been really good at getting our guys to do. And so hopefully the game versus Oakland is a step in that direction where guys guys go out and make plays on both ends of the floor, because when you get to March, that's what's going to win for you, is players making plays on both ends.
Now, we talk about it so much. 3 days in March, that's what it really starts with. Your big-time players stepping up and making big-time plays. One of them was here with us today. It was really fun to talk to Sam Vinson.
That was a great day.
All right, Coach, thanks for joining us. And you guys, thanks for watching. This has been another edition of the Darrin Horn Show, presented by St. Elizabeth Healthcare.